Hey everybody, and welcome to the very first episode of Ask Emma, because I've been hounding her to come on my show because she was the one that changed it for me all those years ago, and I'm pretty sure everyone who's watching is going to know who Emma Sgourakis is. She's a certified nutritionist. She's based in Melbourne. She has 2 kids that are just adorable, and they got blonde hair, and she got a lovely husband. And yeah, like your article, Emma, defending fruit and non-complex carbs, that is what was the game changer for me. Like I was reading your article and I just was like, oh my God, so many light bulbs were going off, and I just had to work with you. But I guess for anyone who doesn't know you, maybe you should just give them a quick spiel about who you are, apart from the woman that saved Kitty from all those crazy diets.
Yeah, well, I'm a nutritionist in private practice in Melbourne. I think at the time, was I in Sydney? No, I think I was back.
I think you're in Melbourne.
When you found me.
You were pregnant.
Yeah,
you were pregnant.
I was.
Yeah.
So it must be about 6 years ago.
Yeah, was it that long ago?
It must be.
I think you were going on maternity leave. So I remember we worked together and then you went on maternity leave because I wanted to keep working with you. Yeah.
Maybe more, 6.5, 7 years ago. Yeah, just struggling along, pushing a message that is very different to what anyone else is pushing over this part of the world. And slowly but surely we're finding people, aren't we?
We are. Saving the world one woman at a time from all the crazy fitness industry diets.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so I just practice privately, mainly doing consults over a course of maybe 4 to 6 consults over maybe 3 months. So bringing everything back to basics for clients and re-educating them completely, really, about food, about their physiology, about how their digestion works. Nutting over all the symptoms that they've had maybe for years, and for them to understand why they're getting these symptoms and how simple food choices could, alleviate those. So, yeah, there's a lot of talking involved. There's a lot of re-education, a lot of reading expected for the client to do. But for me, it was the only way, having worked in the industry and done the usual thing, have a quick 45-minute consult and make a follow-up, and here's a little list of foods to eat and change, and, take your fish oil and eat more salads and do what, we're taught to encourage people to do in this industry. And wondering why no one really ever changed food or came back for more.
Because you've tried a lot of different diets, haven't you? Like you've been...
What? Be my own guinea pig.
Because I remember, were you telling me you were vegetarian for a while? You went vegetarian. What have you tried? What have you done?
Gosh, I picked up my first book on nutrition when I was 9. That was Fit for Life. So that was very much, excuse me, decline that. So then put me on a ridiculous journey of vegetarianism over my teenage years. I think macrobiotics, that was the worst. Grains and lentils and digestive issues, versions of paleo, high fat, low fat, no carbs, high carbs, raw food, juicing, cleansing, all the fun stuff. But for me, I think my aim was to find that way of eating that works so well that in me physically, that I then felt comfortable in being able to recommend it to others. I sort of felt like, who am I to tell you what you should and shouldn't be eating if I don't do that myself and it doesn't work for me? So particularly when I was, doing all the juices and green smoothies and all that rot, and wasting away to my lowest body weight, and I wasn't even looking to lose weight, realising this is not a way to, maintain health, maintain muscle mass. It was quite alarming. So I was always observing and experimenting. And then thankfully, came across some better information. Somehow, I still can't figure out how you came across my work and thought to even go down that rabbit hole. Because, you're in an industry which is suffocated by, what were you eating? Broccoli and chicken breast and...
nuts and seeds and almond milk. I think it was because...
Eat some carbohydrates.
Yeah. Because it's not working. Like I remember, because I had got divorced and I was seeing this therapist, and we'd always talk about nutrition, and she's like, Kitty, women with thyroid issues shouldn't eat green vegetables. And I said, yeah, but shouldn't everyone eat plates and plates of green vegetables? She's like, no. She's like, go and read Ray Payton. Go and have a read of Ray Payton and Emma Sgourakis, because obviously Ray's works quite like, sometimes it can be hard to digest. So I read some of his, and then I went and read that blog of yours, that Defending Fruit and Non-Complex Carbs, and I was like, holy shit. Like, this is why I consistently and constantly binge eat, why I have sugar cravings. I was like, because I would completely cut out fruit and dairy. I would never drink orange juice, was like the devil.
Oh, no.
And I just read it. And when you just like the light, because you've been searching.
Yeah.
You've been searching, I'd done everything, and I emailed you, and then I think you had to apply to work with you. So I wrote
that all my clients. I was filtering you. I was checking if you were ready for it, or if I could be bothered with you.
Yeah.
If I'm there to try and convince you that everything you've been doing, just do the total opposite. It's a long, hard, exhausting, effort to drag someone through that and have them challenge what is politically correct way of eating healthily, then I'm like, no, I can't be bothered doing that. But if you've been there, done that, worked it out yourself, started to question everything, had the light bulb moments, been a bit red-pilled, I suppose, then I find those clients are hungry for it. And every little bit I give them, they're like, oh, yeah, and they eat it up and they apply it straight away, and then they get the benefits straight away. When a client applies to work with me, I tend to ask them some specific questions, and if they put it out there that, no, I just want to lose 8 kilos in 2 months for that I've got on, and I just want you to write me a plan and tell me how to eat, I go, I'm sorry, I'm pretty booked up for the next 6 months.
No, I was happy when you took me on. I was so happy. It was just incredible. Like, I remember just
a challenge, wasn't it? Okay,
yeah.
There's certain topics, and we talk through them, and you'd be like, wow, this really
makes so much sense.
I've been training and drinking chocolate milk. And you had your own trainer yourself going, what the hell are you doing? And I'm sure Craig was, Kitty, seriously, having a bit of a crisis or something. But you really persisted. And then God took it to the nth degree and opened a gym. And what's your slogan on your T-shirts now? It's fantastic.
Oh, the chocolate milk.
Yeah.
Yeah, the inappropriate thoughts, powered by chocolate milk and inappropriate thoughts. Well, it just changed my life. Like, it just, after that 12 weeks, I was free from binge eating, from restriction, from, I could eat foods that I liked. I felt so much better. I slept better, it was just, and it's sort of like, I think I forget, because I've been doing it for a while now, and we've worked with lots of clients, that it really isn't mainstream. And I forget how not normal we are. Because when I first did it with you, I was like, wow, like it's like someone's given me like the key, and the rest of the fitness industry doesn't know. They don't know, why do you think it's like we've moved so far away from what our grandparents used to eat?
And we've come right back to that.
Yeah.
When you start to figure it out, it's not rocket science. It's not complicated. It's not foods that need to be brought in for the Himalayas. It's not complex. Like, the more you dig, the more complexity you have to sift through, and the more learning you have to do, and the more understanding of basic pathways, you then realize, so that prostatic was that, or oh, hang on, we only secrete these particular enzymes. That makes sense then, that those food would match with what it is we can provide to break that down. And then you realize which foods don't match with that. And, okay, so they're not actually terrific human foods then. You go right through all of that, and then it comes back to pretty simple foods that, our great-great-grandmothers would have been able to access and prepare really simply, and they were delicious. It's fun. It's an interesting full circle you sort of come, and you look back on some of the foods you used to go out of your way to get and force down and tell yourself that you thought they were delicious, and you look back and go, what was I?
Why? And obviously, like, Ray Pete, and there's Dodie and Rob. Like, who are some other people that have inspired, like, that you have researched and read and applied?
Certainly Dodie. I've spent years working with her. She's a wealth of knowledge. She's, what is she, pushing 80 now, and one of the few people in the world who've worked directly in person with Ray for a very long time. But she has the knowledge from the perspective of female, which is really important too, I think.
She's really good at dumbing it down, I think, too. Like, because I worked with her after you, because you were like, oh, I'm going to maternity leave. You can't keep working with me. Go, contact Dodie. And it was amazing spending that year with her. And, she's really good at complex ideas and simplifying it so it's easy to understand, I think.
Absolutely. And as a woman then going, well, how do you then take this information and prep a decent dinner that is easy and not too much hard work when you've got kids and other challenges going on. I think that's part of my role, is taking what, say Ray or the worker Broda Barnes and these incredibly freakishly genius people, but even just to read their articles, as you said, it can be a bit, oh gosh, I've got to change. But then with all of that going, okay, well, that's great and all, but what does that maybe entail as what can I make for breakfast that would, sum up what we've learnt about eggs and dairy and, just making it practical. I think that's pretty important. And then learning to adapt, because there is no one size fits all breakfast even. What works for one person, the next person might get bloated and be sluggish and get a blood sugar crash within half an hour. Learning how to gauge if that food works for you, how to tweak things, just basically reminding people just how to tune back in and gauge for themselves what works. They always says, eat to improve your metabolism. Don't eat because that's been told to you that is a perfect health food. What works for you might not work for Joe Blow. So you've got to keep experimenting and be your own scientist. Experiment and what they might fall upon that goes, oh my God, that meal gives me a lovely, increase in my temperature, my energy stable, my mood's calm, my mind's clear, I sleep terrifically after that particular dinner. That they're the ways to gauge whether you're on the right track or not. So, play with it. It might be some random meal that you as a practitioner, you couldn't even contemplate for that person, but it's just about experimenting.
It works for them. Yeah. It's so interesting to say that. And, you talk about metabolism. What are some of the things, you sort of slightly touched on it before, that you get your clients to track and measure? So if someone was to have a fantastic metabolism and they were really healthy, what would that look like?
Well, certainly learning about how to, check your temperatures and what that means, what the fluctuations of that means, but alongside a pulse reading, that's really important. Doing that is one thing, but even that can be inaccurate occasionally, because even just stress hormones can elevate a temperature. So you've got to gauge, is that temperature high with stable, calm energy, or is it high and your pulse is high, or your mind is racy, or you're anxious? I mean, maybe it's stress putting it up. So you've got to kind of learn to decipher that as well. But even indicators like, more recently, I was chatting with, I think it was a chat with Dodie, but we were talking about noticing things like just the temperature of your fingertips. And that temperature is so extremely different to, say, on your chest or on your cheek. And you notice that huge difference just by doing that. That might be a more accurate way to gauge it than relying on that thermometer, which maybe isn't even accurate. A lot of thermometers aren't that accurate, or the way you use them, you might not get a clear indication from that. Even looking at, your pallor, the colours of your fingernail beds, whether they're a bit pinkish, they're not like grey, blue or white. Just feeling that you can take a deep breath, like a full breath. It's not all upper and racy and you've almost got that air hunger, but you feel it's complete and grounded. And then a stress sort of comes at you and you go, oh, I can deflect that quite calmly. Little things don't agitate you. So many factors, but in general, just seeing that your digestion is well fueled and there's a good fire in your belly and your appetite's up. You can go to sleep at night, fall asleep and stay asleep. Menstruation's regular with no symptoms whatsoever leading up to your period.
Isn't it interesting how many like women come into our program and they just like, they think that it's so normal to have really painful periods and not sleep through the night, and they've just accepted that.
Yeah, and that
as
PMS
norm.
is part and parcel of being female. We've just got to accept it and take an analgesic and suck it up. But that maybe they didn't need to have it every single month.
It's crazy, hey?
Yeah. I think, that's the thing. The things that have become accepted that, oh, well, that's just what I have to deal with, or take the painkiller or push on, that maybe those symptoms that we should go, no, that's not good enough. We can aspire to feel better and mix them completely.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. I think when we just fixate on finding the right foods and digesting food more efficiently, getting more sleep, getting more light, the simple things, all of a sudden they'll look back on that initial health questionnaire that I might have had them fill out, and I get them to tick every box under the sun of symptoms. And they might have ticked about 30, 40 boxes of symptoms, and a few months later we'll go back through that and they'll go, oh, I actually forgot I used to have that and that and that all the time, and now it's down to nothing much. The things that sort of drop away quite passively once you start just, the simplicity of just eating digestible foods first and foremost, and eating enough of them.
Oh, it's just crazy. Like I think about my old diet, like when I came to see you, I think, I was eating like 1,600 calories, and it was like oats and protein powder and almond milk for breakfast with blueberries, because blueberries were low in sugar, and, tuna and green beans, more broccoli for lunch, more spinach, raw spinach for lunch, almonds for afternoon tea, salmon.
You loved it though, didn't you?
Oh, fuck it. All I would think about all week was the cheat meal I was going to have on the weekend. Like that epic, like the disgusting pizzas and the corn chips, and just so funny. Like I never even think about that now. Like, you and I talked about, the cravings. Like I just don't get, like I don't, like we'll have chocolate in the cupboard and I just don't even eat it.
Yeah.
Because I just don't even, I just eat, it's like every meal that I have, I really enjoy it. Like after we do this, I made this really nice spicy pumpkin soup with coconut milk and prawns, and I'll have some juice with it. And, I drink Coke sometimes. Everyone, the sugar Nazis are going to be out. It's just, it's, I can't, it just changed my life. Like I can't honestly thank you enough, like I just.
Well, that's sweet of you to say, but it's not that, it's part of it, maybe what I can share with you, but it takes the person to be open and hungry for it and ready to listen and ready to be brave enough to go, all right, I'm going to go go with carbohydrates, and I'm going to reintroduce sugar. Oh my God, that's terrifying. And also you were pretty serious about your, bodybuilding and competitions and things like that.
No, I wasn't really. I was a bit of an amateur. I wasn't really like a serious. I did it because I wanted to be lean. I wanted to be lean.
Yeah, that's it.
It was another way to try and be lean, to restrict. Yeah.
It could have been scary for you to go, oh, I'm going to eat all these foods that I was always told were taboo and were going to make me get fat, and then, get a bit cuddly. But I think
it's just like, it's not working. Like what I'm doing is not working. I'm running myself around in circles and I'm consumed by food. So I was like, there's got to be a better way. There's got to be, and I think like with it, and you and I talk about this a lot, it's consistency. Like it's not a magic pill. No. You still have to eat the right foods consistently, get the right nutrients into you, rest, get sun. It's a fine balance, I think. Obviously like we refer clients to you who've got really specific issues, because it's out of our scope, but we work on changing body composition and, getting them to fuel their bodies. And I think, like we're like to the women, you shouldn't be eating under 1,800 calories, like don't eat under 18. And then it's about finding that balance, like where is that right calorie range for you? We can sleep well and have good energy and not, get cravings, but then it just needs to be, you still want to be hungry. Like it's normal to feel hunger between your meals. Like you want to be salivating and looking forward to that next meal. And if they can just find that good calorie spot and get the right foods in, slowly the fat comes off and they get stronger. It's like they don't have to do these crazy diets, because it always ends up bad. They just rebound.
Absolutely.
Like worse. Like you probably don't have that many clients. Like you probably take more specific clients, I guess, with more specific health issues, like the people that we refer to you with really bad digestive issues. And, I guess you probably wouldn't take people who are like, I just want to get into better shape.
I do sometimes I get a fair few people who say, look, I feel well enough. I'm well in regards to what people see as well. I don't have an illness as such. That, you know, I just want to feel the best I can feel. I want to go from feeling, you know, mediocre, okay, good enough, to feeling great. Or they're there, but they want that understanding. You know, what is going to prevent me from aging too quickly, or from, you know, getting the cancers that my mum had, or the preventive stuff. And that's really encouraging when you get a lot more people who, you know, really they shouldn't have to spend the time or the money to put work into this stuff, because in regards to what is considered healthy, they're fine. But they're just willing to put the work in and to put the time into educating themselves to feel even better, or to feed their kids better, or to educate their husband around, you know, maybe what he could eat better, or just to understand things. It's great. And I think generally most people know more about their car parts, you know, or they put more money into servicing their car, or but when it comes to their own bodies, they're prepared to just go, you know what, I'll just order light and easy and it's done for me, and I'm guaranteed to lose some kilos. I won't necessarily gain any health from it, but you know, it's mindless, and it's, you know, no effort in regards to, there's no reading to do, or time to put into the learning of it. But I just see it as such a fascinating topic that why wouldn't you want to learn about it? And why wouldn't you want that extra control over the intricacies of how you can day by day feel your best? And, you know, if a cold starts to appear, what you can do to prevent it. And there's so many tricks you can learn about what you can do to alleviate the things that people just see as, oh, well, it's just part and parcel of getting older, or, you know, your hormonal cycle, whatever it is.
And why do you think, Emma, like, you know, we've talked about this a lot, that the fitness industry, you know, it's just rife with 1,200 calorie diets, you know, fitness models that train 6 days a week. You know, and it's funny, like, they never talk about the binge eating or the menstrual cycle issues, or that they don't sleep through the night. You know, it's just like these women, I think, striving for this. And I used to be the same. You know, like, I think I mean, this is just my personal opinion, but it's fine to want to look good. Like, but where is that point where you go, it's detrimental to my health? You know, like, where they're striving for this unachievable, where you're obsessed, and your health starts to, you know, you start to not sleep through the night. You know, why do you think it's gotten so far? Like, how did I just wonder how it got like this. Like, how did we?
Well, I don't even think it's just the fitness industry. I think it's anyone who likes to call himself a health nut, or going on a health journey, or whatever you want to call it. It's like when people say that they believe that mind and body are connected and all that sort of thing, but then the way they live, they don't truly believe it. Like, they'll say, you know, I know to eat well, you know, and how you think and all those things are interconnected. But then they'll decide that I'm going vegetarian because that is apparently the healthiest way to be, and it's good for the animals and the environment, or whatever they perceive, you know, their reason for becoming, say, vegetarian or a vegan. But then, I don't know, they get so caught up in, okay, well, that's the rule book to eat like that, and I'm going to adhere to that. And I'm going to ignore the fact that I can't get to sleep, and ignore the fact that I stop menstruating, ignore the fact that I can't get pregnant, ignore the fact that I've got a receding hairline as a male, that my appearance crap. Oh, that's okay, because that's not actually connected to how I eat. So I'm a vegan, so I'm happy with that. I'm a really good paleo. But then they're ignoring the signs that, hang on, how you're living and how you're eating isn't actually working for you. Because if it was, you wouldn't have any of those challenges. So there's a disconnect to noticing the basic measures of health. And it's like when people say, what are the best blood tests, saliva tests, hormone nutrient tests, whatever to do to ascertain if you're healthy? It's like, well, sure, there's probably some great tests out there it can do, and it probably cost a bomb. But if you can't tick the boxes and say that you sleep well, your mood is good, your general outlook on life is positive, you've got a good thick head of hair, like those basic things, forget all those other measures. I mean, they're amazing. And if you can't tick those boxes, then you've got to question, am I undernourished in some way? And cravings is another one. Like sugar craving, and to see it as, oh God, I've got no willpower, and how I'm going to beat this craving, and I'm going to show how strong my willed I am. Rather than going, hang on, maybe the body is this incredibly intelligent organism that sends out cravings for a reason. Maybe blood sugar is getting too low, and it's a warning. You got to top this up before cortisol kicks in and things start to break down to keep you alive. Either ignoring cravings or just seeing them as this annoyance that is to be ignored and suppressed. I think I've got totally off track with the question.
Oh no, but it's good. It's good. Like the whole sugar thing. We talk to these women, and they're like, well, your body's got built-in mechanisms to tell you what you need, like salt, sugar. It's like sugar. Your body craves sugar because it needs sugar. And so many women go to me, yeah, but sugar's poison. But your body's not going to crave something that's poison. Like, put it in context too. It's like you don't want to go out and just eat 10 cups of white sugar. It's just energy devoid of nutrients. But some white sugar in a nutrient-rich diet is fine. Like, I have white sugar. It's energy. It's energy, but it's like, of course, if you go out and eat fucking donuts full of polyunsaturated fats.
One ingredient, if that.
Yeah. It's like, the sugar gets blamed.
Yeah.
It's not natural. I'm like, it comes from a fucking plant. It's natural. Yeah, it's the same. It's the same as the fruit. It all gets broken down into the same thing. It just doesn't have any nutrients. Yeah. So, of course, use your brain. It's like, but I guess they're so brainwashed by the fitness industry. It's interesting. Yeah. I got even like, we do this 6-day challenge, this free challenge, when we give them like basic stuff to do. And this lady emailed me and she says, look, I can't afford to do your program, but I just want to let you know that I've started, like my family, we've bought the nudie juice and we've started eating more fruit. And we've had a bit of sugar in our coffee. And she's like, we're all feeling so much better. She's like, thank you so much. Yeah.
And you're probably thinking, oh my God, there's so much else I could teach you. But God, if that alone is seeing such an improvement, then wow.
Yeah.
Just fuel for the cell.
It's funny. Like, I don't even know. And this is a whole nother topic about the whole sugar. I guess that the nutrition industry, I guess, goes through stages of wanting to find one thing and blame it, like the saturated fat, and cholesterol, and that's been proven wrong. And I guess it's like sugar's the next thing. We'll just blame sugar,
Animal protein was demonized from food.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Eggs are terrible.
Yeah. It's just funny. It's like like when I spoke to you and you're like, it's just old-fashioned food, Kin. And I think about what my grandma, like when I was little, I'd go to a house and we'd have scrambled eggs and she'd actually squeeze juice for us, like from oranges, and she'd strain the pulp out. And, she'd make homemade cakes. Like, we didn't eat heaps of cake, but we'd have a little bit of cake. We'd have flour and butter and sugar. She'd make a lot of roast meats. She'd make steak and kidney pie, like lots of roast root vegetables, I remember. Like, no, there was just no sugar.
They cook their vegetables.
Butter.
Yes.
Yeah. In lard. Like,
lard, tallow, butter.
Fruit, we used to pawpaw. She'd have these beautiful pawpaw and banana trees in her, and we'd have and passion fruits, and we'd have like fruit salad with freshly squeezed OJ over the top. I'm like, she'd make bread. Oh. I just think, wow, what the fuck?
Think if you stuck with that since then,
Yeah.
God, I think of some of my own,
Custard. She made ice cream. She made beautiful custard. Yeah.
And that's the difference too, I think because certain foods become very junky, that say ice cream back in the day was just sort of emulsified egg yolk with
cream
sugar,
and
simple cane sugar, not dextrose or glucose syrup or whatever, just sugar and milk and some cream and some
eggs,
vanilla. Yeah. Just apples actually had a pretty good protein profile. It had some incredible minerals in there. It was supremely digestible, delicious. It gets your salivate, gets everything. I mean, you just suck in those nutrients. But then I guess along the way through the Industrial Revolution and, certain ingredients becoming too expensive, or either dump some vegetable oil or some vegetable fats and, poor quality dairy or not even dairy. And and the gums and things to thicken rather than actual egg yolks and all of that. Of course, ice cream became a junk food. So you associate ice cream with junk. But if you look back to what ice cream really was and what it was traditionally made of, it's an amazing food. So change your perception of it when you start to realize, well, you could make it like that, or, you know, hunt down the 1 or 2 brands available where it's actual, you know, real food ingredients in there, and it doesn't have to be junk food.
And I think too, when you actually eat enough food to fuel your body, you don't get to the end of the night because you're like, oh, I can't have ice cream in the house, so I'll just binge. But I'm like, you're not eating enough. If you feel like you're gonna smash a tub of ice cream, you know, like I have our ice cream and I'll have like 100 grams because it's so rich and it's so creamy, and I'm like, I feel satisfied.
Yeah,
I don't need to eat the whole packet, the whole tub. You know, I don't need to eat 10 brownies. I can eat 1 brownie and have a glass of milk and feel good because it's like there's no more restriction. I think, because some people are like, oh yeah, but you say don't eat this and don't. And I'm like, well, we're giving you recommendations based on your symptoms. Like, it's not about don't eat this food. It's about is that food going to nourish my body and help me feel good and sleep well and have good energy? So it's like, just test it. And you eat brown rice, I guarantee you're going to be farty. You're going to like be constipated. You know, it's not whether it's good or bad. I think it's about, is this going to optimize me? You know, am I going to feel optimal eating this food? And gradually you work out. And, you know, like I used to love Nando's and eat heaps of Nando's. If I ate Nando's now, it would just make me sick. I reckon, like those vegetable oils. And, you know, you don't have to eat. You can just eat really beautiful, like make burgers with beautiful sourdough, make coconut oil potato chips in your air fryer, get the beef patties, get the Jarlsberg cheese. Like, you can make sourdough pizzas. We've got this awesome bakery that has the sourdough pizza bases. The whole gym gets them. We make these beautiful pizzas, and, you know, it's just like, and it's just eat a little bit less that day if you're going to have a bigger meal at night. It's just, you know,
well, you'll find you probably don't even want for much more than that.
Nah, because you're full.
And when you meet your body's needs, body's not then looking for something, and blood sugar's not too low that you then crave more sugar, or, you know, needs are met, and then the body doesn't send out those signals that it needs more than that. You know, whereas you've got to wonder when you were eating maybe as much food, but, you know, bad quality foods or foods devoid of enough nutrients, that I wonder, you know, if there was a block of chocolate half open, you'd be like, I can't not think about it. Home on Saturday night, you just end up you just have to eat the whole lot. But then when you start to actually feed your body sufficiently, you realize that, oh, it's been sitting there for weeks. I haven't even wanted for it.
Yeah.
So it's not about, you know, power of the mind or, you know, controlling your cravings. There's no control you need to do. It's just you realize that, there's no craving right now because I'm good.
Yeah. It's just incredible. Like, I honestly can't believe it. I can't believe that I can have chocolate in the house now. Tubs of ice cream. Like, we have tubs of that, like ice cream, you know, because I'll go through stage of like, I'll have custard now for a week, and then I'll sometimes have ice cream.
Have some ice cream before bed because I know it'll make me sleep better.
I know. And that's another myth, right? Like the carbs before, but we could talk for hours about that. But, you know, I guess, and I'm just conscious of time because I know that you
That's okay.
You can't sit here for hours and talk, but, you know, like if a woman was watching this and, you know, she's really confused about all the diets and stuff out there, like, where would you say to start? Like, what advice would you give her?
Oh gosh, depends what diet she's come off, or
like, would you just
depends how, you know, how much she's, I suppose, starved her body for how long, and how slow her metabolism's become, and, you know, how off, because at the same time, if you're at a point where your temperatures are way low, your pulse is non-existent, you know, there hasn't been much energetically going on, and you decide that, I've heard that ice cream's good for me, I'm going to make a batch and eat the whole bowl.
You'll be sick.
You'll feel sick. You'll feel nauseous, your liver will be shocked. Maybe in a few weeks you'll start to get a bit tubby because things have been going slowly, then you dump all this on it that it can't do anything with. So little by little, everything's...
So gradual, you'd say gradually increase, starting a bit more fruit, bit of juice.
Maybe swap the quality of the foods first before you work on trying to amp up the overall calories, or just being conscious of doing it gradually, let the body adjust. Give yourself time, don't be hard on yourself. But it's important, I think, to do the reading and the learning first and foremost, and mentally digest the information first. Because if you just go by, oh, Kitty said OJ's good and I haven't had OJ in 10 years, so it must be good for me. Well, that's where everyone went wrong in all their other diets, because they just decided, here's a rule book or here's a new diet book, I'll just follow the rules and go by the diet plan just because they tell me to. You've got to know the whys and hows behind it. And then when you then eat that food, you'll feel like, God, I get why I need this, and I can notice the difference when I have it, and I get why that's happening. Then you're going to want for more and you'll do better from it. So the understanding is so important, and we should learn more about this as a high school subject. Geography of Africa, like it's important to know. Like I'm educating 50-year-old women about their menstrual cycle, and they never understood the ebbs and flows of their hormones and why certain things arise at certain times of the cycle. They never got it. They just assume that they're female and it's hard work and this is just how it works. Like I find that criminal that that's just not part of our education of being a human.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think the start point would be just to do a bit of reading and just take time to digest that. If I send clients, I send them a lot of, as you do, a lot of handouts and reading on certain topics. And I say, do it the old-fashioned way, print it out on paper, keep the information in front of you. Each time you sit down with a coffee and you've got 5 minutes, just
have a read.
Scroll over. Keep a red pen with you, circle bits that you just go, hang on, that's challenging me, I don't get it. I'll ask him about it next time. Or, put asterisks where, light bulb moment, and just sit with it, digest it, apply little things. But even the littlest change you make in that one day or 1 week, even if that's small, introducing like a carrot salad, like we encourage, and all those sort of things, and understanding why it's behind it, rather than beating yourself up and thinking, oh God, but the rest of my diet isn't perfect. You've got to think that that one thing is going to make me that much healthier or digestively a bit more efficient than I was 1 week ago or 1 month ago. And in that's an improvement. So see each little tiny improvement as huge and important to just take them on one by one. And to make them a habit, it's going to take time until that becomes your normal, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah.
Rather than I'm going to change it all overnight and I've got to memorize what these foods are and make it all too much of a shock to my body. You're not going to stick to that very long, I don't think. You've got to just slowly, find your new norms and apply them and give it time for it to become a habit too. And then, a year from now, you might look back and go, oh God, I can't believe I was going without these great foods for so long, and I can't believe I used to eat that. And, it just all of a sudden becomes, this is just normal for me.
Yeah, I think you hit the nail there. It's the realistic timeframes of, because it's years and years of doing this, and you can't, let alone get to your goal in 12 weeks. You can't unlearn and undo everything you've done. Like I say to women, 12 to 18 months. Like that's how long usually it takes to really make the changes and get to where you, depending on if, a lot of women come to us needing to lose a lot of body fat, and, it's got to be slow. And it's like, what's a year? What's 1 year in your whole life versus continually going around in this merry-go-round of yo-yo diets? I just don't understand it, because I guess it's hard. It's hard for women to be consistent. But like you say, chip away, be kind to yourself, fail forward, and just improve. Aim for improvement, not perfection, and you'll get there.
Well, and it's also a bonus when a lot of the things you and I would encourage are maybe easier to prepare than what they had been doing, easier to obtain the ingredients than what they've been going out of the way for, probably cheaper, probably more delicious. The type of foods that your kids are going to go, I want some of that, and your husband's going to be happy eating. So you're not trying to make your own special diet and cook them separately. And so it's very user-friendly, and it's very, very enticing in all those other ways that I think it's easy to apply the kind of changes we would encourage. And nothing's too, there isn't, God, I remember, activating and soaking nuts and grains and dehydrating. God, just crazy stuff. So it's basic, but first and foremost, understand the whys and hows, why you're going to choose that food and why you're going to make an effort to increase your consumption of a certain food. Don't understand why it's not going to be something you're going to persist with. You want to change someone's whole perspective on the food in front of them. So if you're out somewhere and you had options to choose from, and you might have in the past gravitated towards the bread and the pasta just because you enjoyed the taste of them or something, once you get how that food digests or doesn't digest, or how it might feed bacteria more than it feeds you, or the work you're putting on your body to try and break down that food, or what's not giving you after all that effort, you start to look at that food and go, oh, it's not actually delicious to me anymore. I'm not drawn to it. It changes what you're drawn to, I think. Does that help you?
Oh, totally. Yeah, it was a game changer. Changed my life. Just so happy now. I'm just so happy.
I think we're all happy that you've then gone on, you quit your day job, you set up an incredible gym with, totally shocking sort of health advice that comes along with becoming a member at New Strength and all of that. And how you've challenged and shaken up the industry is so inspiring. But you just need to set up these gyms all over the place. Like, one is just not enough. So
we'll have to come and do one in Melbourne.
You do.
Right, the world needs chocolate milk, don't they, Emma?
Oh, certainly.
And more ice cream.
Now, I'm hesitant when a client says, great, okay, so I'm making changes with my food. What other changes should I make with exercise? And, I put a little bit up on my blog of my thoughts on exercise, which fit very much in do. And I say, well, look, if you don't live in Brisbane, at least work with Kitty, long distance. But ultimately, I'm hesitant to put them onto most gyms or personal trainers, because I know the type of nutrition that is going to come along with their advice. Same old. And it's going to then, they'll have a session with me, then they'd go and have a session with them. And they'll be told something quite conflicting, which will slow them in their progress of kind of adhering to what I'm getting to do. And it's, when you're conflicted mentally by different messages, it's hard to move forward.
Oh, totally. No, we love it. Well, we refer clients to you and you refer clients to us. It's really good because obviously we preach the same message, which is awesome.
I can't, my muscle growth is not quite. So
whenever you're ready, you can come and do the online. Yeah.
I just leave, small children at the moment.
Yeah, that's right.
But that's no excuses that you've got lots of busy mums and they're doing
but I always say to women, I'm like, do what you